Good morning, everybody. This is Tarina. I wanted to show you how I went about making these little tags. These are going to go in my All the Little Houses kits. And for a little surprise, and I'm really excited about those because they turned out so adorable. Those actually came to me kind of in a dream, so I was just like, okay, I'll try them and see how it works. And I love how they turned out. So I figured, I'll show you my process and how I did it. And so this is the supplies that I used. You don't have to use this much stuff, but this is just what I did. I am going to go ahead and set these aside and get started for you. Now, on this little guy here, I did use, it's like a, I don't know if you can see that or not. Cover that so you can maybe see it. Nope. It's like an adhesive, or not an adhesive. It's kind of like a foam, kind of puffy snow thing. And the way I made that was this here snow marker from Marvy, and I found this at Hobby Lobby, I believe. Hobby Lobby. And I love how it turned out. I just love how that worked. So I went ahead and cut out all of these thanks. This is a die from Close to My Heart, and I love the way it turns out. I love the script. It's perfect. So, and the size is lovely too, especially for cards. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. These we'll need. Now, I'm going to just kind of go through what I've got. I've already got some pre-cut tags. These were cut on my silhouette, but you could cut them on your Cricut, or you could just, if you have dies or anything like that, I did the stitched border around the inside here, which you don't have to do, but you can. And then these are stickers from the Berry Christmas collection from Close to My Heart. Let me see if I can find my catalog. There's two collections here. There's the Berry Christmas, which is this collection here. These are just these stickers. Some of these stickers are just from, as you can tell, the presents, and the banner here are just from the compliments here. These are going to be gone via January 1st, so if you want these, you're going to want to get your hands on them. I'll leave the link in the description box below. I also have, let's see, I know there's another set in here, somewhere in here. There we go. And then the stars, these black and white stars here, they're from this here, the silver and gold compliments. And so I just pulled those out as well. Again, those are going to be gone January 1st. So they're going to be coming out with a new catalog. And so I'm going to be using this. It's Baby Animals. It's all occasions, and I'm thinking it's in the annual catalog. The annual catalog has a lot of beautiful stuff. If you want one, contact me, and I will find a way to get you one. Pretty sure it's in here. Yes. Okay, so this will be good until next July, so you can get your hands on these, and I'm not sure if you can see those very well, but I'll pull them out real quick. Sorry if I've taken a long time to get started. I just kind of wanted to go through all of this stuff. Aren't they cute? And while they are definitely baby, the words are baby, they can be used for anything. So I was very excited about that. So I've already stamped I'm kind of doing a paper piecing, like this one here. This one's got a little sweater that's got polka dots on it. And so I decided I was going to go ahead and use this sweater. And this paper is from the Berry Christmas collection as well. Isn't that cute? It's got I think it's a poinsettia. And then this one is from that collection as also Berry Christmas. And you can't really tell, but let's see if I can block out that light. I only have one light over my desk, but I have one in my room too, so it just kind of, one casts a shadow behind or in front of me, and then there you go, you can kind of see the stripes on there. And it's just a light gray color with white stripes. So that one's going to be my little panda, and then I've got a couple of hats, which are also in the stamp set. And I just went ahead and I stamped them with the archival black. As you can tell, mine's well used, and this is an older ink pad, but it still works really well. So I went ahead and stamped those, and I stamped them on the color of pattern paper that I wanted, and then I trimmed out some of these. I usually keep my compliments in these little iris containers, and I just take them out and cut them all up. I haven't got to use this one yet, but I'm very excited to be able to. And put them all in here so that I know where they came from. That's where these are from. And then I'm going to go ahead, let's see, we've got our nonstick scissors. I've got just a black pen. It's I want to say an alcohol-based pen. It's from American Crafts, and it does not bleed. It's non-bleeding, which I love. And then I've got a jelly roll for the eyes, because I do a little shine on the eyes. And that is one of the things that I do with this, is the eyes on the stamp set are closed because it's baby, like sleeping babies, and I go ahead and make them open little circles. And then this one, I just do this little dot on the eye to make it more alive, awake. And I use this to adhere stuff. My Zig 2A glue pen. I use a Sharpie marker for around the edges so that I can make the edges black. And then I have a little collection of Spectrum Noir markers for as far as for color. I have a very limited supply, so and these are ancient, so some of them are kind of running out of ink, but they work. So this collection, or this one here, is for the panda, and it is IG8 and IG10. And then for the brown dog, which I believe is this one here, I use TN8 and TN7. And then this one here for the hat, I do DG3 and DG2. So I'm not quite sure if I want to do another gray puppy dog. I really love how that one turned out. I know it's a dachshund. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and set these aside. I'm going to go ahead, let's start with our tags. Okay, so I have a blending tool that has the blending pad on it. It just velcros, and I usually store like my velcroed thing here on top of this. And this is a pigment-based ink pad, which means it's not water soluble. So that means that it stays on top of the paper instead of soaking in. It does take a while to, a little bit to dry, but that works great for blending, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use that. But first off, now if I can get that off my fingers, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab a cleaner thing here and spritz it so I can keep my fingers clean. I don't want to make mess, and I'm using the Close to My Heart, my acrylic spritz cleaner. It works great. Gets the ink off perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one. This is Post-it tape. You can use whatever you want to do this. Just make sure it comes off easily. So I'm going to go right inside of these lines. And I'm only going to go up the sides. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and dab this in here. Get some ink on there. And then we're going to go in circles, and we're going to start off of the paper and then kind of go up and in. Now you'll want to push a little bit harder down towards the bottom, and then we're going to blend it up really lightly towards the top, and not all the way up to the top. We're just kind of going 3/4 of the way up. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. See if I can zoom in for you, maybe. Okay. Oh, let me wait up, just so you guys can maybe. Okay, I'll just there. I don't want to mess it up for you guys. Okay. Now the more, because it stays wet, the more you do on the bottom, the darker it'll get. And that looks pretty good. Like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and set it aside to dry while I work on the other one. I'm going to pull these off. Looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Ink up my blending tool and start from the bottom. Go up. The harder you push, the darker it will be. But the more you can move it too, so. Okay. One's a bit darker than the other ones, but that's okay. That's what makes them all unique. It's one of the things I love about paper crafting. Okay, so we can go ahead and put that away. We don't need that anymore. And I'll set that one aside. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on cutting these guys out. So the panda is going to be just the shirt area here. And let's see. I'm going to go right up the side, and I'm trying to make sure that I get it right on the outside of the line, not the inside. Okay. the way up to the head, and then we're going to cut the head off. And I know that sounds terrible for this little guy, but another little guy's getting a sweatshirt, so okay. So let's cut that off so that I have a smaller piece to work with. I'm going to go ahead and cut around the edge here, and then cut around the bottom of the belly. Now, if you had something small, like one of these presents that was small enough, you could use an X-Acto knife before you cut everything out. Use an X-Acto knife and kind of trim around the edges of the paw, just right, the curved part of the paw, so that you could slide stuff in, like the present in between. I tried that. It sort of worked, but not really. Let's see if I can find my little guy here. I may have given him to my daughter. I think I did. But it does work. It takes a bit longer than just this. Okay, so now that I'm done with that part, I'm gonna go ahead and before I forget, I'm gonna ink up the edges of the sweater. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, and there's white cardstock or white paper in between, and I'm just gonna make that black. Now obviously if you have this should work fairly easily or decently if you have any color of paper, because the stamp outline is black. Now if you do it in a different color, say you did it in a gray, you'd want a gray to match. But this works pretty good. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna color my panda here, and using the IG 8 first because 8 is lighter than 10. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color the ears. And it doesn't have to be perfect, which is nice. That's one of the things that I love about the Spectrum Noir markers. And then the eyes. And the feet. I was debating whether to keep the feet white or not, but they are definitely, I looked at a picture of a panda and they're definitely black. So, okay, now I'm also going to color in the paws or the arms on the sweater because those are his hands. Okay. So I went in with the lighter color first, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of definition with, or shading with the darker color. And while that may look really dark, it's not actually, oh wait, zoom in a little bit more. It's not actually that dark once you see what I put on here. So I'm going to go right in the center of the ears and just kind of give him a little bit of color in the center of the ears. On both ears. And it doesn't, like I said, it does not have to be perfect. It can look kind of funky because we're going to blend it in anyways. So now I'm going to take the lighter color and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blend it out. Don't want to put too much towards the edges because it'll go outside of the lines just because it saturates the paper. So we're going to go ahead and kind of blend that out. And then as that dries, you'll see that he has little dark spots in his ears. So I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing with down here, down at the bottom. I'm just going to kind of do the corners a little bit underneath of his shirt. and then a little bit by the legs. And then we'll go back in with the lighter color. I'm just going to blend it all out. Now the way you push your pen is kind of the way that the color likes to move. It's not always that way, but sometimes it is, like this, like now. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and leave his eyes the way they are, but I am going to add some color or some shading to his hands over here on his sweater. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of dark down here at the bottom on both of his little hands. You don't need a whole lot, just a little tiny bit. And then we'll blend that out with the lighter gray, which is kind of a medium gray, but the lighter of the two. Now you can go ahead and add a little bit right in here for some shading, just a touch, just a tiny touch. Right here. So it kind of gives his face a little, or his eyes a little bit of definition, the shape of the way his eyes go, and then just fill that in again. Just kind of pull that ink out away from the edge so that it just kind of spreads and blends evenly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set him aside so that he can dry. It's much easier to do that after, to put him together after he's dry. Actually, you know, I'm going to cut him out while he dries. And we're going to keep his sweater on, because if you don't keep his sweater on, you won't have anything to glue his new sweater to. So you'll have him in a couple different pieces, which I suppose that's a way to do it as well, is to just add his, you know, colored parts onto the pattern paper. That would work as well. I think it would be a little more difficult, but you could probably get two. As long as you did your cutting really carefully, you could probably get two pandas out of one if you just did it that way. Well, I guess you'd have striped face, wouldn't you? Or patterned face, that wouldn't work. Sorry, it's early in the morning and I have not done a video in a while, so I am trying to work through my mind fuzz, morning fuzz, whatever you want to call it. And I don't drink coffee, so I'm not entirely certain that would help me out, because my mind gets pretty wild and busy, and that just seems like it would multiply the problem instead of fix it. I am not a coffee drinker. I don't like the flavor of it. I don't like the smell of it. It's just blah, blah, blah. No offense to anybody who does. My parents do. My grandparents did. Everybody I know does. So that's just the way it is. But okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go around this little guy as well. Try to get in all the little corners. You want to do it gently because you don't want to mark up the front. Little ears. Toes. All right. Looks pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and let those dry. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on this little guy. Alright, so now to start this little guy, I've already stamped and cut this, his little sweater out, and I'm just going to leave it just like that. I don't have a red in my markers to match that, which just makes me cringe. I like having all of my markers not necessarily match, but at least something that goes fairly close to that color, and I just don't have it. Mine are very pinky reds. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my TN8 and TN7, and I'm going to start with the lighter color, much like I did. If I can get the right side, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and start by coloring in his little legs and his backside. And his tail. Now the smaller the area, the lighter you want to push so that you don't put too much ink on there. Put too much ink on there and you're going to end up having colors outside the lines, which is fine unless you don't want colors outside the lines, right? Like in this particular case, it wouldn't much matter because he's going to be cut out. But if I were to want to be coloring in his sweater, which my daughter colored this one here, and he's got his, come on camera, you can, there we go. And he's got that poofy stuff on him too, the snow stuff. Isn't he cute? But yeah, like I said, I don't have a darker version of that to blend in and make it look all nice. So, okay, so I've got the lighter color down. Now I'm going to go with the TN8, and I'm using the bullet tip, and I'm just going to go in where I would think that there would be shadows. Like down here below his sweater a little bit, and the bottom of his tail, and then at the bottom of these here, just the tiniest little bit. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do a, see, we've got shading down here, and then we're going to have, I'm going to do kind of a darker ear, I think. A little bit more than normal. I'm going to go ahead and add some darkness to that ear, because I know that some of the dachshunds have dark little ears. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go over those with my lighter color. Should blend pretty well. Okay. Remember to pull out the direction you want your color to go. So I'm pulling down, trying not to get too much. Pull out. And I'm going to go all the way and cover the whole thing. Now with the ear, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to go ahead and go up all the way. Pull some of that color. See, there I got over because I put too much on there in that particular spot. And then we're going to pull from the bottom here and pull it up. There we go. I think I need a little bit more color here in the corner. Just seems like it. I'm going to add just a little bit more, and then I'm going to blend that out a little bit more as well. Letting it dry in between coats is probably a good idea. As long as you're not putting too many coats on there, you should be good though. There we go. Like that. And there is our little dachshund. Now I'm going to let him dry. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the black on his little sweater. Not sure if you can see that or not. There we go. So now he's got that, and then we'll go ahead and cut him out as well. And again, we're just going to cut around the edge of him, keeping him whole and intact. And then we're going to go around him as well. I love that a lot of the stamps that are produced you can use for multiple reasons. Like this is definitely a baby stamp, but I figured out a way to I could do any season or holiday or birthdays or any event for the most part. So with these little guys, and they're adorable. I have seen some coloring videos and whatnot and images of people coloring their little characters, and it's so inspiring to watch them and to see what they come up with. So I figured I'd give it a try and share with you guys how my experience went. So again, this stamp set is called Baby Animals, and I will definitely leave the link below. I may not be a consultant by the beginning of the year, so if you do want to get a hold of this, you can go on to, and I'm not a consultant, and you can't get a hold of, or you can't get on my website, you can just go on to closetomyheart.com and they'll connect you with somebody that's close to you, with a consultant that you can order through. So it's very easy to do. You just type in your address and they would automatically connect you or send you to their website. So so I'm going to go ahead and go over this little guy with the bullet and making his edges black. I'm totally not in frame, am I? I'm sorry about that. Now, even if I'm not a Close to My Heart consultant, I am still going to be doing crafty videos. I started crafty videos way back, like, I want to say like 10 years ago, maybe? Sounds about right. And I'm not going to stop now. I enjoy talking with you guys and teaching you guys new things and sharing what I've done, what I've made with you guys, and inspiring you guys to get creative and bring out your guys' creative sides. And so I'll still be here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to go ahead and glue them on. It's that simple. Now I've heard the trick to the two-way glue pen is you can use it wet or you can use it dry. So I'm going to use mine wet. Ooh, maybe. And just line it up with his sweater that he's currently got on. Like that. There we are. Got a dog in a sweater. Like so. Isn't he cute? Okay, now and we're gonna go ahead and do the panda as well while we're here. Just add, let's see here, just flip it over and add a little bit of glue there. Kind of I want to coat it because it's paper and it likes to curl. You can also use your tweezers for this. Flip him over and sit him where he needs to be. Like so. And there we have it. Okay, so now that the ink or the alcohol ink is pretty much dry, we're going to go ahead and put, there we go, the precision pen. I've got a 0.8, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make little circles out of their eyes. So right now they're closed, and I'm just going to do a little circle like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little circle. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of do the same thing with this little panda. It'll be a little bit bigger. And you want to try to get the circle for the panda more towards the inside of the closed eye. And try to make sure that it's about the same size. We're going to set those aside and let those dry, because if you put the white on before it's dry, it just turns into a muddy mess. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the little hats. And I decided I'm just going to go green with both of them. And now these Yucca paper piece as well. It'd be a little bit more difficult, but actually that might be a really good idea. I'm going to go ahead and do that for this little guy. I'm not sure what color I want to do though. I'm thinking maybe a red. What do you guys think? So I'm going to go ahead and go with this red and white stripe. And I'm going to get somewhere here is my block, and then we'll get the little hat. And this is kind of how you do it, just since I didn't show you originally. So you just ink up your stamp, you stamp it on like that, and then you clean your stamp, clean the stamp, and then you dry it off, and then you put it back. Okay, so then that's all I needed for the one. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this little guy out. And we're going to cut off the pom-pom. So actually, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the whole thing. Now you do want to be careful because this doesn't dry fast, so it dries and it's water. You can color over the top of it without smearing it, but you do have to make sure it's all the way dry before you do that, or it will smear. I am sorry about that. I'm not used to being zoomed in so much. But these are little pieces. And there you go. So now we have a red hat. And I'm going to go ahead and color the other one here to go with this little guy. And while I could totally just do the same thing with a green hat, I kind of like the idea of the white and green. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do every other one, and I'm not on the screen again. I'm going to start with my lighter color, which is the DG2, and I'm going to go and fill in the place that I want green, which is there we go. And then I'm going to use the darker, which is DG3. And again, just where you kind of want shadows, where you want it to look like it's blended. There we go. That one's kind of big, so it's pretty little. And then we're going to go back over it with the lighter color. and pull out. And I'm going to go ahead and go back over that a little bit with a darker color, just because it doesn't quite look right to me. There we go. I didn't get quite enough. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit here, and then we'll blend it together like so. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and we'll cut this one out. And I'm going to leave the little pom-pom on there, even though I'm not cutting out all of the corners of it. I'm still going to leave it on there. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and trim that off. Save that other hat for later. And then we're going to go ahead and use our markers to go around at the edges. Now for the ones with white, well, for any of them really, I'm just going under the little pom-pom and down around the edges of the hat itself. I'm not doing around the pom-pom because that would make an outline, a black outline, and I don't really want a black outline for the hat or the pom-pom. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the red as well. Okay, like so. Okay, so these should both be dry. And I think I'm going to go ahead, before I start on that, I'm going to go ahead and use my, let's see, this is called, let's see, we've got Jelly Roll. It's a Sakura Jelly Roll 08. So I'm just going to do just the littlest dot. Let's see if I can get that clear. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to do the littlest dot on the very top of his eye. See if I can get that started for you guys. Okay. I just want a little dot right there. And then we're going to do 2 little dots for each of this guy's little eyes. Like so. It just adds a little bit of shine. Okay, so make sure you don't touch that until it dries, because it'll smear, which I did on one of my little guys over here. I don't remember where he went either. Oh, here he is. See? It smeared. That's what you call a sad panda. Okay, enough of the puns. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get these situated. So the way I've done my decorations is kind of basic. I wanted to add a present in a tree, or a couple of presents, like for my panda. I did a couple of presents back behind there. I really wanted to incorporate some of the green, which I will do as well on this one. I may do holly on one of them, because I've got, okay, let's see if we can zoom out. Okay, so I'm not going all the way out, but I'm going up to where you can see both of these and kind of see the decorations that I've got. I've got the 2 stars, which each one has a star. It just kind of, I think it just kind of balanced the whole thing with the star up there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on those. So let's see. All right. So I'm thinking panda maybe. Panda first. And do some holly and a present. That's a really big present. Let's do the red. Let's do the red. And then we'll see very carefully how that looks. Kind of like that. It's cute. And as I said before, like this little strip here, if I trim off the present here, and then I can trim out this, I don't know if I want to do two or not. I was thinking about trimming out the green present and having it in his hands, but I just don't know if I actually want to do it or not. I think I'm just going to leave him just like that. And I'm going to pull out this holly and see if I want to do a tree instead. Well, this is a banner. That's what it's meant for. I'm totally using it as a tree. I like the holly better, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull off the sticker and line him up behind here. He likes to stand right on that line there. And I don't mind, because this is a kind of like a gift of thanks to my customers. I don't mind that the edges stick out past my little guy, because, or past the tag even. I don't mind it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. I kind of want him on the blue, but not too much so. Like that. I really like the green connecting with him. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And then I'm going to take the little present and I'm going to tuck it kind of behind him, but not too much. Okay, so I wanted that there. And that there. And then it'll be time to put him on. And that's pretty easy with the two-way adhesive. Just cover him with adhesive and then put him down. It will be a sad day when I run out of this one. At first I didn't use it at all, and then I found once I started using it, I use it all the time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get him placed where we want him. Like that. I really want him curved there. Like so. And then we're going to add his little hat on him. And I'm just going to add some more two-way adhesive. Maybe this will go on better. There we go. And thinking this one would probably, let's see, we'll have our thanks here, like so. And then our star up here, there. I'm thinking this one deserves to be on the right. There we go. And just kind of press it down. Kind of like how it balances out, and their colors, the close to my heart colors, are coordinating, so that works out nicely. So now I'm going to go ahead and flip over my thanks, and again with the two-way adhesive I'm going to add some on here. Now when I did this, I keep in mind that the end of the T here and the end of the S don't stick. They stick over, and I really like how that kind of makes it outside of the tag. It kind of makes the tag a little bit bigger than it actually is. And so I'm just going to add adhesive onto the parts that are going to be on the tag. And I'm just kind of dotting it here or there. This adhesive works really well, so let's see, we're going to get the H here. And a little bit of the T, but not a lot. And then we'll go ahead and we'll flip this over. And we'll put it down, and we kind of want to keep it pretty much right there. Just want it up above the little guy. You don't want to put too much adhesive on there, it'll stick out the sides or it'll squish out the sides. So we're going to go ahead and do that there, and that looks pretty good. One thing you can do is put a larger block on it. Like this one here to hold it down. Puts a little bit of pressure on there. If you want this block, it's through Close to My Heart as well. I can leave the link below for that one as well. And it should only take a few seconds to get that to adhere. And then we're going to add our star. And we're going to put this right up above the thanks. And the reason I do it that way is because it kind of brings it brings in the word thanks, and it kind of makes it a cohesive little group instead of just having thanks floating out there in the sky. Okay, so I've trimmed my piece of string or twine, baker's twine, to 9 inches, and I'm just going to fold it in half and put it through and over here, and there we have it. That is our tag. So this is the first one, and then we'll get started on the next one. Isn't he cute? Okay, set him aside, and we're going to go ahead and pull the other one together. So now this little guy, I mean, there's a couple of different ways. You could totally use a whole entire line of presents if you wanted to. But I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more simple, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a tree and a present. And I do have blue ones, but they kind of blend in. And I did use it for one of my pandas, but I don't know. I like the bright red. I'm not sure if that present's going to be too big, though. We shall see. So I'm going to try that right there. And then I'm going to see how he fits. Oh, I don't really like the red present with his red jacket. Haven't run into that problem yet. Oh well, we'll get past that. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe I should have the bread present on the outside and then the tree on the inside, making the present not quite so gigantic. You know, I could totally cut that down and make that present smaller too, which would work. So I'm kind of liking that idea. I'm going to go ahead and trim this out and see if this would work better. I'm going to go ahead and trim this up and see if it can look decent with 2 gifts. Okay, So let's see if we can try this. With 2 gifts instead of just the 1. Okay. So we'll do this here and then this little guy here and then the tree. Okay. I think I've decided. So little doggy is going to go there. So the tail just sticks off the edge. This little guy will go here, and then we'll have said presents right in front of the tree. Okay. I am going to totally use a diagonal banner here. That, and then we'll do the trees, or the presents, trees, nice. We'll do the presents down below. Like that, and then we'll put him on. Go. Like so. We'll keep him right there. And then we'll do his hat. There we go. Put his little hat on there. And then from there we're going to go ahead and do our words and our word thanks and our star and let's see. H, and then there we go, and then we'll put that on, like so. Again, we'll stick that down, and we'll get our star ready. And we'll put that on. And then we'll do our twine. Okay. And there it is. There's our little, here's our two holiday cards. And there are multiple ways to color your little dachshunds. They come in many different color combinations, and there we go. I hope you enjoyed this little process video, and hope you have a lovely holiday season and are inspired by this. So I will see you again later. Bye.